Hello, everybody. This is Michael Milligan with AccuNet, and I have presenting today Jeff Suin, the Microsoft Marketing Manager for Dynamics SL. Today, we're going to be doing a brief overview of the Dynamics SL web apps and what I call the hybrid solution. Would you go ahead and advance the screen for me, Jeff? So I coined this term I call the hybrid cloud, and in that solution, accounting people can keep the classic 32-bit accounting software that they want to own and control, usually on premise, but it could be hosted and it could be subscription based in the cloud. But we still have applications that need to be extended out to remote workers, people who have limited need to get the system, but we need them to do time cards, expense reports, project reporting, and some dashboard ad hoc type reporting without calling the accounting department. And that's what the web apps allow us to do. So I put this brief 15-minute teaser together so you could just take a quick look, see if this is something that might be of interest to you, and then call me for more information if you'd like, and my contact information is at the end. So I'd like to introduce Jeff Suin, who will be presenting that 15-minute overview. So Jeff, would you go ahead and take over?
All right, thank you so much, and thank you, Michael, for letting me speak today. So one of the things that a lot of people ask, as Michael has alluded to, is remote access. It's something that in the past, remote access meant something that you had on your laptop, and your laptop was a Windows laptop running Internet Explorer, and that was what remote meant in the past. But as you know, and you're probably looking at the device right now, remote today means a lot different. It means being able to run on a tablet, able to run on a smartphone. It also means to be able to run devices such as iPads and Android devices. It can't be linked in or just put into a little box of only Windows type access. So we've created web apps to allow you to provide access to things, whether it's time or expense entry, on the devices that the people in your company are using. So when they're doing their time, they can be on their tablet or on their smartphone and get to the information or enter information that they need. So today I'm going to go through a brief demo. We're going to go through time entry, expense entry, look at some information around the status of our project and project analyst, and also through quick query. And know that what I'm showing you today is just the tip of the iceberg. We're just showing you a few of the popular features that we have out there, but there's much more to see. So definitely contact Michael to learn more about these. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump into our image. So where I'm at right now, I've gone ahead and logged into Dynamics SL, and we're inside of the SL web app interface. Now, as I log into the system, it does provide me with a list of the features that are available to me. So if I have access rights to it, I'm going to see it. If not, I won't have to see those items. Now, in the first demo, we're going to walk through time card entry, probably a very popular item for people to do. And when you come into the time card entry screen, you're faced with three different options. One, to work on your current time card, or look at any of the previous items that have been sitting out there. Let's go ahead and start off with the current time card entry. And as we come into the time card entry screen, we're faced with a grid showing me, in this particular case, the current days of the week that I can enter my time. To put my time into the system, all I need to do is click on New Row, and it gives me an option. Now, one of the benefits of SL is that you can assign people to projects and tasks. Now, the benefit there is that I can click on the Assign button and say, yep, just show me the ones that I've been assigned to so I don't have to guess what project I need to work on. So in this case, I've been assigned to this particular project for this customer, project and task. So all I need to do is click on that line item, and it's automatically added for me. Now, the next steps for me are just go ahead and start putting my time in for the week, and again, putting my hours by day. Now, I assume initially you'd put in your initial hours and then put the other hours as you go through the process. Now, along with being able to put in my time into the system, I might need to choose a project that hasn't been assigned to me. Let's say, for example, I've decided that I'm going to take off time for the end of this week. So I might go ahead and need to choose a project that hasn't been assigned to me, a project, for example, like an admin project. So we've got an admin project set up in the system, and I can go ahead and choose that I'm going to choose vacation for this Friday. Now, just as a side note, note that there's a lot of information being displayed on here that helps you narrow down and make sure you're choosing the right project and task. But know that this screen is customizable as for you to determine exactly what you want to see or have enabled on this screen. So now that I've chosen my project and my task, I can go ahead and put that I'm going to take off the 8 hours on this Friday. So I'm ready to move forward with this. Now, other things that you need to do with your time card entry process is a lot of times you're going to have to go into the system and start putting in notes. So for example, we have a thing in SL called invoice comments that allows you to type comments about the particular item that will show up on the project invoice. So these are the type of comments that you want to make sure. And to get to them, all I need to do is click on the invoice comments button. Now, we also have information that we can put in on a daily basis. So for example, the day information, I might put it that I was on site on this particular day, or as off-site, or any specific details about that particular item that we want to show up on the line item of our project invoice. We also have the ability to edit information. So for example, maybe I chose the wrong project and task here. I can edit that information, which brings up that familiar screen that we just saw that allows me to take and make changes to them. And we also have our final button here, which is the note button that allows me to take notes. So maybe I want to keep note or keep track of the information that's out there, an internal note to pass in between my project manager and myself, or the person who will be approving my time so they can read some information, maybe some information about that is specific to the project and task I'm working on. Now, other information I have on the screen, at all times I can always view what I'm looking at as far as total hours entered for the week. In the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see my total hours of 24, and then you'll see the total hours by day. So it is broken down by day and so forth. Now, as you'll notice, one of the things on the line items is currently I'm seeing that this line item is billable. And there might be a chance that I'm working on a project and task that is non-billable. Well, if you want to see the breakout of what's billable or non-billable, all you need to do is click on that total button, and it will go ahead and populate and show you the total for the hours of billable and non-billable, as well as regular hours and overtime. So have the full capability of being able to have all that information in the system, view it at any time. Now, since I'm into the system and I can go ahead and save my latest changes, I can then go have the option. Now, we do live in what they hopefully you are living in a paperless world, but there's still the need for reporting. So if you do need to run a report, you can print out a version of this report as well in case that's something that you need. Now, putting my time in the system, pretty straightforward. Now, the other options that we showed here was open time cards and time card history. Now, open time cards, the idea there being I started putting my time in for the week and it's now the weekend and I need to open up that previous time card and submit it. But also I can come in and look at a history of time cards and open them up to view the details as well. So again, we're showing you the header information. I could easily click on any of these to get to the details. And then more importantly, it might be that you are working on the same projects that you did several months ago. So we have an actions button that will allow us to come in, click on the duplicate button, and all the same line items that existed in this time card will now exist in the time card going forward. So a great bit of functionality to make the whole time card process work. So again, available here, whether it's on my desktop, my smartphone, or my tablet, I can get access to put my time into the system. Now, another popular thing to do is to be able to go ahead and put your expenses in as well. So if we click on the project and go to expense entry, we go to another screen, which is a similar idea of being able to show you the details of what you're requesting. Now, I'll go ahead and look up and pull up one that I was working on earlier today just to show you how it works. But as I choose my expense items, I can see that these are the items that are available. Now, I can go ahead and manually type in the expense types if I happen to know them, my project. So this is fully editable. And if I know my values, great, go ahead and type them in. But anywhere where you see these little magnifying glasses, you do have a lookup list that's available to you to be able to look up and choose a valid value. So very similar information that you're used to putting into Dynamics SL as far as the information. We also, as a note, can hide fields that maybe aren't pertinent to your company, fields that might confuse the end user, so we can hide them as well. Now, once I've got my expense entries into the system, just like you had over in the time entry, we can run a report in case that's what you need. But more importantly, what a lot of people want to do is go ahead and attach those receipts. So one of the features that we have is the ability right from inside the web app to create and attach a new receipt. Now, I'm currently running this on my desktop, so the interface it brings up to me is to allow me to interface directly with my desktop and it sees that I have some receipts sitting out in my pictures folder. So I can easily go ahead and choose that item, and clicking OK will go ahead and attach it. Now, as of note, one of the nice things about this is because it's built to run on your tablet and smartphone, it can also interact directly with your camera on your tablet or smartphone. So that means that all you need to do is take your receipt, lay it on the desk, click on the attach button, and go ahead and interact directly with your camera. Take a picture, and if you like it, go ahead and click OK, and it will automatically upload that item. The nice thing about this receipt is now attached to this item. It's available here in the web world, so I can go ahead and see that there's an attachment and open it up. But along with being able to view it in the web world, it is now also attached to the rich client. So the important thing that means is that anybody approving it or anybody on the accounting side can now view that particular attachment. So they can see that there's a receipt out there, and they're either ready to go forward or decide whether they're going to move forward with that item. Now the next thing we're going to show here is, now that I've got my time and expense into the system, as a project manager, one of the things you're going to want to know is, well, how are we doing financially? Are things working well? Is there an issue? Is there something we need to look into? So with that idea, we can go ahead and jump into our project analyst. Now, the way that the project analyst works is that you've got this upper section here, which is kind of your filter area. The filter area allows you to decide, well, what projects do I actually want to see? Do I want to see all of them, or do I want to see just specific projects that are sitting out there? So that's what the upper portion of the screen is built to do. And then once I've gone ahead and chosen that, it's going to go ahead and, as you can see, it's displaying all the projects that are currently available. Now, they're listed here, but if I want to get to the details, all I need to do is click on the plus sign next to it, and it's going to show me the financial information around this particular project. Now, the header is showing me some high-level information, who's the project manager, anything around start date and end dates for this particular project. Now, below it, we do have a few buckets of information. First, we have a financial summary, which we can, anywhere you see a hyperlink, we can drill to details. We also have the AR aging information, and again, we can drill to the details. The unbilled summary, as well as our account category balances that we have set up. Now, again, anywhere you have those hyperlinks, we can drill to the details. We also have at a higher level the project and task net profit information. And for example, here, if we look in here, there's some labor that's out there, some work in process. And we can go ahead and click on that to see the details and see exactly, there's Adam. Adam put some time against this project, and we can keep track of that. So we'll be able to see the expenses, we'll be able to see any time that has been put into the system, and see exactly how are we doing financially on this project. Again, a great screen that's really geared towards those project managers out there that need this information. Now, another bit of information that I think is nice as well is that this is just a report. So if you like what you see, great. If not, you can go ahead and customize it to make it look and work the way that you want it. So some great bit of information there to be able to view your project information. Now, another area that you can view is inside of Dynamics SL, we have the ability to view information, which we've had a feature called the Quick Query. Now, Quick Query is a feature that allows you to provide information, and it's kind of an alternate way to find it. In the past, when you would ask to be looked up information, it was usually, okay, what screen do I need to go to, or what report do I need to run, and what filter do I need? So what the idea was created is that Quick Query came about in SL 2011 to make finding information inside of SL easier, to make you to get to that information and help you drill back to the details, or to help you take that information and be able to share it with other people in your company. Now, the way that Quick Query works is we've provided over 100 different queries on the data in your database. So you can see they're broken out here currently by module. So if we chose the accounts payable module, it would show us all the different items that were available to us. To go ahead and open up any of these particular quick queries, all we need to do is click on it, and it will load the query into the screen. Now, if you see it, it's got this idea of this kind of grid view of the information, where we're seeing here some information related to AP vouchers, debits, and credits, where we're seeing the batch, we're seeing the vendor ID, the vendor name, and so forth. A lot of great information about this. And our thoughts are that once you get here, you want to be able to say, okay, this is great information. I have a question. So there's a couple things that you can do. first thing you might do is say, you know what, I like the information here, but I want to make a little bit of a change. So we have a thing called the column chooser, which will allow you to do a couple things. So let's say, for example, vendor ID. Well, I want to actually change that to make a little bit more sense. I'm going to change that to vendor ID. So any of the fields that you currently see on there, they can be changed. The next thing that we can do is we can make changes where there might be a field that's currently not being displayed. Maybe it's the account value that I want to add. So I've clicked on that field, it's available here. And I might even decide, you know what, let's move that up in the list. I want that a little bit higher in the screen. So again, I can add, I can remove, I can change, I can do all those things. And once I click on the OK button, you see the screen automatically updates. So now the idea with that feature is let's make the screen look exactly the way that you want it. So you'll be able to customize the look of the quick query to work the way and look the way you need it. Now the next thing is, well, that's great, there's a lot of information, but I'm looking for something for a specific vendor or a group of vendors. So what we do is we allow you to create an expression which can have multiple line items. I'll do a simple one here. We can go ahead and choose where the vendor ID contains the value 0, 1. So I only want vendors that have 0, 1 in them. Click on done, and you see again my list has gone ahead and got much shorter. So again, the idea, create your expressions, bring you the information you need. Now in some cases, this might get you right to where you want, and we do have a drill to capabilities that will take you back either to a maintenance or to a rich client screen to actually drill back and look at this information. So you have that capability. But the other thing that you can use it for is to share this information or use it for your basically analyzing what you have in this screen. And where do we like to analyze? Well, we all like to analyze in Excel. And one of the features that's available here in the Rich client as well as here in the web apps is our Export to Excel feature. So if I click on the connection property, what it's going to do is allow me to go ahead and take this data and open it up in Excel. Now, because it's coming from the web, it will make sure I'm okay with that. And as long as I enable it and say it's okay, what it's done for me is it's created a connection from Excel. And if I go to connections, I can view it made a connection from Excel right into my quick query. So if I click on properties, you can see some of the details. It did all the correct connection strings because I, Jeff, had the access rights to view it. So we're assuming you can view it inside here. It also creates this really big old select statement that allows me to view information that's out there. Now, why is that view information important? Well, I'll show you that in just a second. Now, you say, Jeff, it just created a blank document. What's the benefit of that? Well, if I click on that item and click open, it gives me the option to go ahead and create a table, a pivot table report, or a pivot chart right from the screen. So let's go ahead and choose table. And what it will do is gather all the information. Now I have what was in that quick query now available in Excel. Good thing is it's even got column names. I can go ahead and select the fields that I want to. All that functionality that you have in Excel, all available to you here. Now, that's great, you might say, but what's the most important thing? Well, the most important thing to me is that this information is connected to your quick query. So this means that at any time, I can come into this query, move things around, change it. I can hit the refresh button at any time. And what that's good for me is that means that this information is up to date. So I can export it once, format it the way I like, create the reports that I need, create the charts that I need, and I can know that when I open up this report and hit the refresh button that everything on that report is up to date and latest and greatest. So very, very cool functionality, something available in the Rich client, also available here in the web apps. And last but not least, we can save this. So if I like this query enough, I can choose to go ahead and save it for everyone, for a group of people, or for myself, so everyone else can take advantage of this great query that I just created. So that's a quick look at just some of the great features that we have here in the web apps. Again, these are just a few of them. Where we are in the whole roadmap of SL and web apps, well, just in the end of April, we released Webapps 2015 CU1, which provided a lot of the features that I just showed you. So those are available to you today. Going forward, the idea is that basically twice a year, we're going to be able to release new web apps or new enhancements to the SL area. Again, right now we're really focused on those web apps because we want to be able to take the experience and the things that you need from the rich client and make them available to people that are also out on the road as well. So with that, I turn it back to you, Michael.
Thanks so much, Jeff. That was fantastic. So I want to encourage anybody to contact me at the email address mmilligan@accu.com. My direct dial number is there at the bottom. And we'd love to talk about your specific needs and how we might make this a good match for your business. So thank you very much, and thanks, Jeff. We'll close out the session.